Hello everyone, my name is Aftab and in this video I'm going to talk about modules and components in Angular. So modules and components are the basic building blocks of Angular application. They provide the way to organize the functionality in our Angular application. By using components and modules, we can organize our code and application in a more maintainable manner. And it is also used to make our components or functionality reusable. In this manner, we can achieve the reusability, maintainability, and the time which we are going to spend will be drastically reduced if we manage to use these components and modules efficiently. So let's talk about components in Angular. Component in Angular is for the user interface and how our application will look like. So the TypeScript component is for the business logic which is required for the web page, and it is associated with an HTML page which is for the user interface or the structure of our program. Along with that, it also consists of the CSS component which is for the design and style of our application. So the components provide the basic functionality of user interface and user experience. We can have multiple components in which we can declare by the simple command line that is ng and generate and by component, and then we can name any specify. We can specify any name to create a component. Whenever we create a component, the 4 files will be generated. One is TypeScript file, and then HTML file, CSS file, and a specification of TypeScript file. So that was all about components. Now let's talk about modules. So modules in application is used, or they are for organizing the components. So whatever code we are writing in the components, modules are going to organize those components. So there can have multiple modules in our program. The purpose of multiple modules is to achieve a separation of concerns, meaning we can work on different parts of our project differently by creating multiple modules. So each module have its specific meaning and have its specific purpose to work on. Let's talk about the properties in modules. So the first property which we are going to talk about, the import property. We can import components into modules. Without importing, we can't use those components. So first we have to import the module first. So in Angular, a module can interact with another module. So we need to import the modules first if that module is to be connected with our module. So import property is used to join two modules. And then we have export property. Export property is for exporting the components which the other module is going to import. So in import property, we import the modules, and in export property, we export the components. In this way, we can achieve the separation of concern and reusability of our Angular application. And the next property is the declaration property. So whenever we are into the Angular application, without declaring a component, we cannot use that particular component. So declaring is a very must in Angular. And the next property is the provider. So provider is for the service based. So meaning whatever the component is going to use the service, then we need to initialize it in the provider's property. And finally, we have bootstrap property, in which the entry point or the component which is entry point of our application is needed to specify in this property. So in bootstrap property, the entry point of our program must be there and no other component should be there. So that was all about the properties: import, export, declaration, provider, and bootstrap. So these are the modules. That was all about components and modules in Angular. Understanding these two is a very must for an Angular developer, and we can achieve reusability, and the purpose of these two is to achieve the separation of concern, which makes Angular one of the most popular framework along with its competitor like React and Vue. This separation of concerns sets Angular apart from the rest of the frameworks, and that's why Angular is so popular and different from the other frameworks. So that was all from my side. I hope you learned something new in this video. My name is Aftab. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, goodbye.